Welcome back. Well, I'm still Jacob Rees-Mogg, and we were talking about Donald Trump, and the mail mogs have come in. Jeff says, Jacob, don't you think it's odd for a foreign leader to lecture us on domestic politics? It breaches all the basic rules of diplomacy. Yes, I'm not sure that Donald Trump always wins the diplomacy prize if in international forums. And James says, Sir Keir Starmer has become the caddy for the Donald. Yes, indeed. I wonder whether he provides the right golf club as called upon. And Phil says, do you think Nigel Farage will be the man to put the UK first and bring Trump-esque policies here? Well, there's a thought. Over the weekend, it emerged the government has set up a police unit to monitor social media posts expressing anti-migrant sentiment amid fears of a summer of unrest. Well, my next guest, independent councillor for Bracknell Forest, Councillor John Edwards, has found himself under investigation by the council after expressing concerns about the housing of Afghan migrants in a local hotel. Councillor Edwards said he was accused of inciting hate and spreading misinformation against an ethnic group, with a councillor colleague claiming online she had reported him to the Rozzers and the Ministry of Defence. She's probably one of those nutters who's written to the Pope and the King as well.
In green ink, almost certainly.
Indeed. I used to get letters like that when I was a member of Parliament. Anyway, I'm now joined by the man himself, John Edwards. Mr. Edwards, thank you for joining me. So tell me, what did you do? What is this shocking thing that you have done that has so offended one of your fellow councillors?
Well, in April, I raised concerns about 300 Afghan migrants being resettled into a four-star hotel in Bracknell. And for that, I've been intimidated, isolated, and now formally investigated by Bracknell Forest. That's included calls to the police, telling that I've been hateful, incited racial hatred, and launching a formal investigation. They've refused, so this is Bracknell Forest now. So they've launched a formal investigation for me for scrutinising a policy which is of national interest and local impact. But they haven't shared any evidence with me. When I say what part of my post constitutes a breach of the code of conduct, i.e. which bits were discriminatory, which bits, whatever they've charged me for, they refuse to share it with me. There's a briefing call. Council's had a briefing call explaining the situation. So there's key evidence on this. And they've refused to share that with me, a recording of it, despite it being shared with other councillors, because this crazy ruling that they think it will mean a crime being committed. But of course, none of this is totally baseless. The police have never contacted me, either because she never actually reported me, or it's just baseless. So yes, it's very worrying. It's a very frightening attack on free speech.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GBNews discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
So the council has reported you to the police, but as far as you know, the police haven't taken any action. They haven't interviewed you. they haven't opened a case as far as you're aware. So the police seem to have behaved properly in your view?
Well, they can't do anything because I've done absolutely nothing wrong. You know,
What did you actually say?
It doesn't follow.
I raised concerns about how this will impact housing, how it will impact health, how it will impact education, and was vetting done? And now we know that actually it will impact housing, it will impact health, and it will impact all the other things. So that's what I raised. And actually in my post, I was always clear that the arrival has got nothing to do with the people arriving. They've got to be treated with respect and dignity and have safety. This is just policy focused.
Yeah, but are they legal or illegal migrants?
They're legal because they've come through a legal pathway. They're from Afghanistan. They're part of this scandal. Part of them, probably. Yep. Yeah.
So they're legal migrants. But one of the unfairnesses seems to me to be that you must get people coming to see you who you represent, who want to get housing, and they're told that the waiting list is interminable, that they're not going to get it. And then people get fast-tracked who have been brought in from overseas and get put up in hotels at vast expense. This just seems desperately unfair on your existing constituents.
It is so unfair, Jacob. I put out a post asking for residents who are on the housing waiting list to see what type of experience they have, to see if they're getting equal support. I was inundated with nothing but heartbreaking stories. We've got single mothers in one-bed flats with 4 kids, 1 bedroom. They all share 1 bedroom. They have to keep the windows open to keep the humidity down because the mold is so bad. The mold goes over her bed linen, up her walls, over her kids' toys. She throws the toys out, she washes the bed linen, she cleans the walls, but it's not enough. It keeps coming back. She has been given no help. There is a veteran. He's got 2 daughters, 3 and 5. Again, 1-bed flat with him and his wife. Both daughters have been hospitalised with respiratory conditions. No help for them. He actually contacted me. He served in Afghanistan. He said, John, I know what these people did for us, and I want them to be safe, and I want to help them. But where's my help? And Jacob, this single mother, she also said something poignant to me. She said, John, I feel like I failed. I feel like I failed my kids. And I said, you haven't failed. You have been failed. You've been failed by a system which has forgotten about you and is now falling over itself to help other people. And this is what I'm scrutinising.
And it's a political decision, isn't it? That there are limited resources, there's never enough money to do everything governments want to do. And it's perfectly reasonable for you as an elected councillor to say, I think money should be spent on our own residents rather than on people who have come in from abroad. That is just a perfectly normal exercise of your right to freedom of speech.
Yeah, that is totally normal. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's not just normal. It's actually my responsibility to scrutinise these projects, to scrutinise screens. And the thing is that one of the things I asked about was vetting. And I asked through a freedom of information request, has the council checked any of the level of vetting? And it turns out not one officer, i.e. members of this council or councillors, checked the level of vetting. I mean, that is extraordinary. And then we learn that people who once failed the vetting, who weren't allowed, have now been come in, and some of them have been charged with sexual or violent crimes. Now we learn Taliban members have come in. Taliban members, and according to the report, one Afghan official said that these people have British troops' bloods on their hands. It is difficult to think of a policy more scandalous than this when we've got homeless veterans and now Taliban members put up in hotels at our expense. So yes, I mean, not only is it right, it is my duty to scrutinise.
It's your duty. John, thank you for joining me. It seems to me the reason they want to shut you up is because they're embarrassed about what has actually happened. But I think we have got a statement from the council. Bracknell Forest Council has said, as the matter raised is under investigation, it would not be appropriate, dreadful new Labour word, for the council to comment further at this time. Well, they can come on. Let me give an invitation to somebody from Bracknell Council to come on and defend what they've done and what they have failed to do.